What's going on, my people? It's your boy FPL Kayman, and I'm back with a brand new video. In today's video, I'll be covering my game week 4 team review as well as my game week 5 transfer plans as well as team selections. So without further ado, let's dive in. So as you guys can see, your boy had total 78 points. Finally, a big green arrow. I think I was around 5.4 million last week. So we're up to around 3.3 million in the world. Just a very big green arrow, if I'm being honest. I did not expect such a good green arrow. I did bring in Virgil van Dijk, who did end up paying off. I was considering whether to bring in Mateta for Creepy Jr., but ended up going with Virgil van Dijk. And the reason being, as I mentioned in my previous video for team selection, is the fact that I wasn't so convinced with Palace, especially because they've suffered so much injuries. They've also lost Eze. And I kept mentioning that and thinking about it like, okay, if they lost that many players and they don't really have that much depth, are they really going to score with Sunderland? Although they had quite a few good opportunities, I did see the highlights. I mean, it do look a bit scary. I mean, Mateta had 2 good chances. He could have definitely scored. But still, ultimately, I didn't think he'd get that many big chances. So I chose to go with Van Dijk, and it did work out for me in my favour. I think he was on 3 BPS, but somehow he dropped to 2 BPS. You know what FPL are doing. But regardless, I'm quite happy with him. Like 8 points, really good transfer. And then we've got Anderson, the DEFCON beast. He kept a clean sheet as well as DEFCON and 2 bonus points. I think he was also on 3 BPS, but the Tower Boys also shagged me again, and he got to 2 BPS as well. But still, I'm not complaining. The defenders have absolutely delivered this week, as you guys can see. Riches as well with a clean sheet. Consa as well with a clean sheet. Sales, of course, big disappointment. Forest Boys, they've been absolutely shocking. I mean, absolute garbage. I'm so glad I've saw Nico Williams. They've also lost Murillo with injury now. And I knew, guys, like when Ange Ball came on, I knew that's it. The Forest defense dream is over. The minute Nuno got sacked, that's it. It was over. Like, Highline, yeah, I'm glad I saw Nico Williams. It's now Sales I'm stuck with, but he has really good fixtures. It's really hard to sell him, and I don't have luxury transfers sitting there for me to use, and I don't want to burn a transfer on a goalkeeper, considering the fact that I also have the Rapco to come in whenever he has good fixtures. So it's not absolutely a necessity for me to sell Sales, but still really disappointed with 1 point only. I was hoping he can maybe get some save points, but they got thrashed 3-0, as I expected, to be honest. But overall, really happy. I mean, a lot of clean sheets we saw. Newcastle kept a clean sheet. Fulham, Villa, Palace, pretty much every team we would have thought kept a clean sheet. I mean, the freaking Spurs boys, like they got assist as well as goal. I mean, Van de Ven scored a goal. Freaking Romero got an assist. So if you're a Spurs defender this week, you are absolutely flying. And yeah, generally, it just seems like the defenders have way more routes to points, and the clean sheets seem to be quite more often than other seasons. But the attackers, they just seem to do nothing at all. Absolute bombs we have in attack. The likes of Kudus, absolute bomb with 3 points. Same with Rodgers. Aston Villa and Forest have completely killed me this season. The reason why I'm sitting in the millions is because of those 2 teams. I did not expect this on the preseason from the last season. All the data that I looked at, it told me that, okay, Forest are good for clean sheet. Let me double up on them. Villa are really good attack. We saw last season they scored a bunch of goals, even in the preseason. So I won based off these items as well as data, and it just completely screwed me over. But I'm slowly but surely getting rid of one. In game week 2, I got rid of Watkins and I bought in Haaland. That was the best move I could have done, and Haaland has continued to smash the main man. And I think that could be season defining for me, and I think that's what probably set me to a good trend to be able to make a comeback from millions, sitting in the millions, right? He got 2 goals versus United. As much as I appreciate those points, I cannot say that it was fun to watch that game from as a United fan, with all due respect. I think like Amorim is to go. I mean, I've already said it. Amorim is a bomb. He should have been fired in the preseason after we lost to Everton. He should have been fired a long time ago. This man's win percentage is worse than these promoted teams. Sunderland, freaking Leeds, all these teams have better win percentage than this freaking Amorim Donny. Like, he has to go, man. We're not going to fight for relegation again. We're not having it. We're not going 15-16 again, bro. I don't want to be in those conversations. Sooner than later, get this man out as soon as possible. And I've been saying it, guys. Like, people are telling me to pick Dogu, X, Y, and Z. Like, I told people, like, United defense under Amorim is shambolic. There's no identity in this team. We hired Amorim for an identity, and he's trying to show and prove so hard that we have an identity. Brother, you have no identity, man. Listen, I digress. I don't want to go into United. I'm going to go on a monologue and start to get very disappointed. So this is FPL video. Let me stick to it. But yeah, Haaland did trash United and got a brace. He could have got a goal as well and assist. Reinders missed an absolute sitter, by the way. I mean, it would have been Haaland assist as well. So Haaland could have very easily come up with a hat trick. He missed an open goal, and then he also should have an assist from Reinders. if Fernando was to convert that chance that Haaland created for him. Haaland just looks like an absolute beast right now. And I think that TC for game week 6, we're going to see sooner than later that more template than what we would have thought originally. And I think people that are looking to free hit in 6 might work hard now to be able to bring in Salah, Haaland. And it looks like that was the meta. And I mean, I jumped on it quite early. A lot of people said, oh, that's too much money investing into it. But I saw an opportunity when Saka and Palmer went down. Immediately straight away, I jumped into the Salah Haaland draft and got in a bit of an edge on the field. But I think now, slowly but surely, come game week 6, wildcards will be popped and this template will be popular. Either people are going to drop Salah to be able to afford Haaland and go with Palmer Salah combination, or people are going to go and choose maybe to avoid Palmer and go with Salah and Haaland combination. I think that will be the template come game week 6. Instead of free hit, I think we're going to see a lot more wildcards being popped. But overall, phenomenal week. I mean, alhamdulillah, I can't complain much. And JP is just inevitable right now. JP seems like JP is the best pick from my game week 1 team. And that's the one pick I was not sure about. It's unbelievable. You can't write this up. Honestly, it's crazy. But yeah, as I said, phenomenal week. Now let's move on to my potential transfer plan for game week 5. So for game week 5, there are 2 moves I could potentially do. One is either bringing Semenyo by selling Rodgers or selling Anderson. I have 2.4 million in the bank. I could choose to either buy Semenyo, or I could genuinely avoid him because he does play Newcastle. Although like Bournemouth did trash them last season, I don't think it will necessarily happen again. Like, as much as I respect Ariola and Bournemouth, they're a really good attack. And Semenyo is on pens now, and he does seem to be really good, like shooting GAs left, right, and center. On the eye test, he does seem to be really sharp right now as well. And he's quite involved. He's also got the minutes. He looks like an insane asset. Hence, I'm considering like selling an asset like Rodgers, who's playing Sunderland, which on paper looks horrible, by the way. He's playing a promoted team. And I'm not going to do this move. I'm just saying this is potentially the one move I could consider. Which, to be honest, it's not that bad because Sunderland, on paper, obviously, is a promoted team. You don't want to sell a player as a promoted team. It's just the fact that the way Villa are playing, I've been watching them. Every single game I've watched all their games this season, especially from game week 1 to 3, because I own triple Villa to start the season. They've created 0 big chance, guys. They're the only team in the top 5 leagues to not score a goal in the first 4 game weeks out of the 270 something team. It's insane. The fact that Emery is on fraud watch. He's been on fraud watch, and I think he's gonna get the sack soon if he doesn't turn this around. Like, how much points can he drop more? How many more points can he drop? Honestly, it's unbelievable. I'm genuinely considering selling Rodgers or Anderson. With Anderson, at least like he can get some DEFCON points. With Rodgers, he's never gonna get DEFCON. It's like this guy is a negative pick. I've shown him too much grace. Personally, I think too much grace. I do not. Normally, I'm a very trigger happy manager, and if an asset does not deliver for me in one or 2 or 3 game weeks and he fails my eye test, I normally sell them. But the fact that I gave this man 4 weeks and he's not delivered yet, he's on extreme thin ice. And this is why I'm considering selling him even when he's playing Sunderland. It is actually crazy. And I don't even think it's a shocking thing to say, genuinely. Like, he's been really disappointing. And Kudus, oh my goodness, don't get me started. This guy's an absolute fraud as well. This guy loves doing flicks for 90 minutes. I could consider selling him as well. For me, Kudus potentially on the selling blocks. Rodgers as well. I could do Rodgers to Kudus. I could do Rodgers to Semenyo. I could do Kudus to Semenyo. I could do Anderson to Semenyo. And believe it or not, guys, I think the most appealing one is probably keeping Anderson. It's actually crazy to say, but Anderson keeping makes more sense because I'm on a Salah Haaland structure, and he gives me flexibility because I can save some money. And he can play in most game weeks because he can get DEFCON, especially in a tougher fixture. So it's actually crazy to say, but I'm actually generally considering selling one of Rodgers and Kudus ahead of Anderson. It's insane, but like at the same time, it's not, because Semenyo is on 90 minutes and he's also potentially on pens. Although now Cliver is back, and I think he did get some minutes off the bench. If he does start potentially still as the pens, then obviously the appeal for Semenyo goes down slightly. And if you look at his fixture on the screen, it's not exactly amazing. But if you're getting a pen taker from Bournemouth, which is a really good attack, and a 90-minute man, can't complain too much, honestly. Like, I think he's an insane asset if he keeps his pens, honestly. So I may do this move. I may also not do this move. I may just choose to roll and reassess next week. Potentially, I may consider bringing in Palmer next week. If you guys watch my tip strategy video this week, I did talk about how there is a potential where I could do a free hit in game week 7 and maybe sell my Villa boys now or in game week 6 to bring in Palmer. Like, these are options I could definitely consider, but I feel like if I go for Semenyo this week, I do block that move off for myself. So I may roll because of that and give Rodgers and Kudus one more week, which they do not deserve, if I'm being completely honest. But just because of that move, that Palmer move to potentially going Rodgers down to a, say for example, a 5 million mid like Dewsbury Hall or Sar, and then Kudus up to Palmer and free hitting in 7, which enables me to be able to obviously when Chelsea and Liverpool play each other, I don't have to play those assets, and I'll have 4 assets from those 2 teams, which includes JP, Virgil, as well as Salah and Palmer. I can avoid them when they play each other, and I can also capitalize on Arsenal when they play West Ham, which means I can get Saka, I can get Gakres, I can get Gabriel. At the moment, I have 0 Arsenal. You also have United playing Sunderland, great fixture. I could target them as well. I could potentially get Mbimo, Bruno, Ahmad, whoever you name it for Sunderland. I can also potentially get a Xavi Simons, who looks somewhat decent as well. I think he's going to be good for GA when they play Leeds in game week 7. So there's definitely quite a few good fixtures in 7. And I do like it because I don't own any Arsenal at the moment. And I do think it's a bit of an edge if I could do it, and it's a bit differential as well. But at the moment, I'm probably leaning more towards rolling this week. So yeah, now let's move on to my game week 5 team selection. So for game week 5, your boys lining up with Sells, who plays Burnley away, and along with Richards, who's got West Ham away, with Konsa, Sunderland away, Anderson, Brentford at home, as well as Virgil van Dijk playing Everton at home. I do have 2 defenders playing at home, who's got home fixtures, decent fixtures. However, I also have 2 defenders that's playing away. So it's good. On paper, the fixtures are good, and I'm playing 4 at the back. At the moment, this seems like the defenders is the way to go, and I'm kind of happy to be in this structure at the moment because they have quite a few routes to points. You got clean sheets, you got DEFCON, you also have potential set piece threat as well. So I'm quite happy to own these defenders. I think the only player that doesn't suit that is probably Konsa, but the rest of them does have potential for DEFCON as well as set piece as well. Overall, I'm happy with the back line. Moving on to the midfield, I have Salah, Kudus, Rodgers, and Anderson. As I said, I'm probably going to roll. And to be honest, these players do not have bad fixtures on paper, but they're just not returning. And I'm just not happy with Kudus and Rodgers. As much as I want to make a transfer, I think I want to be patient one more week. They do have good fixtures on paper. Let's just hope finally they can get me something. And then in the forward line, you got Ja Pedro and Haaland. Haaland does have a tough fixture in Arsenal away. But again, it is what it is. He did return last week, and I'm okay if he does blank this week because most people are trying to get him to come game week 6 for Burnley anyways. So I'm slightly ahead of the curve, as I said earlier. Same with JP, the people that don't own him, they're probably also trying to figure out to bring him in because he just seems to return every single week. And at some point, you got to start asking questions. Is he even a captaincy shout? As much as I want to say yes, I just don't think he has pens. I still probably lean towards Palmer, but I would not blame someone for potentially considering captaining JP when he does have a decent fixture because this man is just insane form right now. On the bench, I've got the Repka with Reinders as well as a Steb and Krupi Jr. I am benching Reinders as he's playing Arsenal away. I think it's a tough fixture for him. As I said last week, he probably should have returned, but he did not return. It is what it is. I think he's an extremely, really good enabler. That's a nailed attacker from City, 5.7 million. Even if he does blank, to be honest, I don't care too much. It's really cheap. I hope he can get me something here or there because you can't expect too much from these cheapies. Like, what hurts is when your Salahs and your Haalands and your Palmers and your Rodgers blank because these guys are not cheap. Like, Rodgers is 7 million, he's not cheap. He's not 5 million anymore. I can't afford for him to basically blank in every week. Whereas his counterpart, someone like Semenyo, who started at 7 million, is getting GA. Xavi Simons just came to the league, is getting GA. So I can't have Rodgers blanking as well as Kudus blanking. Anderson and Reinders blanking is whatever, right? But at the end of the day, these 12 million, 10 million, 50 million asset needs to deliver week to week. That's the main thing. Overall, the team does look good this week, if I'm being honest. Midfielders have really good fixtures, especially Kudus with Brighton away. I don't rate Brighton defense at all. Rodgers with Sunderland away. Finally, please get me a return. You've had good fixtures for so long. Please get me a return, man. Salah is my captain. He's got Everton at home. I will show the captaincy metric slides on the screen if you guys can see. I do think like this week, a lot of people are going to struggle with captaincy. I think people that are on Haaland structure, they are really finding it hard to pick a captain. I think some people are even considering Semenyo as a captain, who's playing Newcastle. It's kind of crazy, but I can see it why, because if he's got the minutes and the pens, it does somewhat make sense, especially if you don't have Salah this week. I think if you have Palmer on the other hand, I do think it's a very good captaincy this week because on paper, like United, like we're just not good defensively, honestly. Like, I think it'll be a tough fixture for them still for Chelsea away. They don't have a very good record versus us. But still, I just think that our defense and Amorim, he's on thin ice. The players don't believe in him. Bruno came out with a statement saying, listen, the way of the formation we're playing, we don't have enough depth in midfield. We don't have enough players in midfield. It's just a flawed system. You can't play 2 DMs and get away with it in this Premier League. You can't. You have to have 3 midfielders. Like, I don't understand what this man is doing. 3 at the back is not working. It's a flawed strategy. It's a flawed system. And Bimo is not a 10. Don't play him in a 10. It's just, everything is just wrong. Ahmad is not a right back. Stop doing this. It's insane what this man is doing and getting away with it. He should be sacked. I digress again. I don't want to get into that. But as I was trying to say, Palmer, I think, is a good option if you do not have Salah this week. I also think Salah is the best captain in my opinion on paper. I'll probably go Palmer second, and then I'll probably go potentially. Listen, Haaland can be captain. Haaland and Salah can be captain in any game week. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like if you have no options at all, Haaland is not the worst captain on the planet. If you don't have Palmer, if you don't have Salah, I wouldn't rule out Haaland captaincy. In this form, I would not rule it out. I know it looks bad on paper, and also not been keeping clean sheets for fun, and they're really good defense. They have a lot of depth as well. I think Saliba is back in training as well, but I still think Haaland can probably nick something, and he's not the worst captain. And I wouldn't captain the Villa players. I know some people are talking about Watkins, Rodgers. These men are anti-football right now. They've created 0 big chances. Their XG, XA from upper play is absolute rubbish, even though I'm not a data guy. I'm mostly eye test guy, and these guys feel eye test, data, everything. They feel everything. And at this moment in time, if I could have a luxury transfer, I'd probably take up all the Villa assets. As much as all the concert did give me a clean sheet, if I'm being honest as well. So yeah, overall, as I said, Salah does look to be the best captain for me, and I'll be captaining him. My vice will probably be on Haaland, or probably JP, to be honest. I might put my vice, which doesn't matter too much, but still, I'll probably put on JP. I think you could do over United. And some people might even consider JP captain, which I don't blame them. Like, we've been considering 2 strikers for fun, and JP is in an insane form as well. So JP is not a terrible shout either. But yeah, overall, I'm quite happy with the team. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below if you like it or not. And whether if you want to considering bringing Haaland. I think a lot of people are going to do it in come game week 6. I'll be uploading a wildcard draft for game week 6, as well as free hit draft, because I know a lot of people are going to potentially pop their wildcard to bring in City assets. But I don't think I'll be doing it. As I said on my chip strategy video, I'll probably be wildcarding later on around game week 13-ish, as well as my free hit will be in game week 7, and I'll be probably triple captaining in game week 6, Mr. Haaland, which most people are going to be. I think that'll be the template, considering the fact that he's on an insane form. So yeah, that'll be it for this video, guys. Make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to leave a comment down below. Make sure to get the Patreon Peer Pressure Plus. And I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace out.